What's up, guys? Jake with TN. Oh, hang on a second here. That's not going to work. Probably bring this here. There we go. Now you guys can hear me. What's up, guys? Jake with TN Tactical. Oh, it's a bit loud. What's up, guys? Jake with TN Tactical. Come to another special video. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'll be honest with you. I'm making a top 5 video, and the reason why is because this whole entire past week, including last weekend and this upcoming weekend, I have been extremely busy working on building a huge 24 by 28 foot deck in my backyard. It has taken all my time, and I haven't really had a chance to go out and shoot any new content for you. So rather than leave you high and dry, no content at all this Friday, because I know you need to consume, I want to make this top 5 video basically just give you like my top 5 optics that I have ever tested on the channel. I didn't want to just make like the top 5 like RMR red dots. I wanted to mix it up a little bit. So what I did is I actually went back and I kind of picked out sort of like my favorite of each different category. So we've got an RMR dot in here. We've got RMSC dot, Delta Point Pro. We've also got a thermal scope that I reviewed, as well as just a regular scope without any special stuff. All of which are very budget-friendly options. And I think you guys may actually be interested in. Out of all the optics that we have beat the piss out of over the past years on this channel, these are right now my top 5 that I'd say are worth your time, and more importantly, your hard-earned money. So, with all that being said, let's talk about how they did. So starting off, number 5 is going to have to be the Firefield Rapid Strike 4-16x scope. This is just your plain Jane scope, no battery power, no tritium, nothing. But it comes in at $150. Now I actually put this on my El Cheapo AR-15. That's like a $300 or $400 AR, and I was able to hit targets easily, directly on the same impact at 120 yards repeatedly. It worked out phenomenally well. Has lots of features to it: shockproof, waterproof, all that good stuff, of course, fog proof, nitrogen purged. I mean, it's made from the great state of China, so you know it's going to have to be good quality. In all seriousness, actually this one turned out really good. It actually features 1/10 mil adjustments, so you can get some very fine-tuned adjustments to dope out however far you're aiming. One nice thing I really like about though is that it actually gives you one of those little throw levers. You know, like a lot of times when you get a scope, you have to buy the throw lever separately. It's like extra money. So good on them for actually providing that for you right out of the box. We did a little bit of water bottle beating test against it. Obviously I didn't drop test this because, well, I made the scope, it was going to break. But we did smack it around a bit with the water bottle, and it held up just fine as far as we could tell. The quality of the glass seemed good. There really wasn't any issue with parallax or anything like that. For the most part, it just seemed like a good quality scope that was like just $150. So that's why it is number 5 on my list. Now moving on to number 4 of my list is going to be the Zulissy Z2-R. This is actually a $150 Delta Point Pro red dot that is extremely rugged, and we literally like used it like a hammer against concrete when we reviewed it. It was piss pouring right outside, and to top it all off, we had it on our Canik Rival, and we were just smacking it, hammering it as hard as we could against concrete, and did not break. It did not lose zero. No cracks, just your typical scuff marks on the aluminum housing, and it held up phenomenally well. 3 MOA dot, of course, it's got shake awake technology, all that good stuff. It uses a CR1632 battery that actually like has a little twist off cap on the side, so it's very easy to take the battery out and swap out if you need to. Of course, you get like 50,000 hours of battery life, something like that, depending on your brightness setting. Overall, though, it was very rugged, and honestly, after all the abuse we put through, especially in the rain like that, it held up just fine. I really like it. For that, it's number 4 on the list. Number 3 on my list is actually going to be the thermal optic that we reviewed recently. It's going to be the DNT Hydra HS325. This is sort of their middle option of 3 different specs that you can choose from. They do have a sort of a lower tier thermal as well as a higher tier thermal. The cool thing about this thermal is the price. It comes in roughly like $1,600. When you zoom in with this thermal, it actually sharpens with some kind of weird AI thing. And we actually did a comparison video of this thermal optic, comparing it to a Winchester optics thermal that they have been advertising recently. And we found it to actually perform better than the newer Winchester optics thermal, which was surprising because it comes in at like $500 or $600 less than the Winchester option. There's a bunch of different thermal specs to it. I'll put them on the screen here for you, but honestly I'm kind of lazy, so I'll just show you from my previous review that I did what those specs are. And of course you can see here's lots of footage for you guys to kind of look over and see, especially with the comparison footage. It was very phenomenal. Really, really good quality stuff. It uses a single rechargeable 18650 battery. Now, the one downside to this thermal optic is battery life. It comes in like 4.5 hours. That being said, you can get like a little adapter to actually mount it and make it more of like a clip-on that goes in front of your scope, or you can actually use it as a standalone thermal scope, or if you want to, you can take it off and just use it as like a spotting scope to kind of carry on you. And that's why they call it the Hydra, because it has 3 different functions. Overall, I was really impressed. It's only one of 3 thermal optics I've actually had a chance to review on the channel, and I honestly have to say, for the price and the features that you get in there, I think it's probably the best one. Now, obviously, this was loaned out to me at the time, so I could not sit there and beat the piss out of it. But from what I could tell, it seems rather rugged, and it could probably handle a few drops without issue. Now, am I going to say, hey, go out and drop it against a brick of damnation? No, obviously not. That would be retarded. But as far as thermal optics go, which are always going to be more expensive, it does seem like one of the better ones out there. And that is why it's number 3 on the list. Now, number 2 on the list is going to actually be the Gideon Optics Valor Mini. Now, this is an RMSC red dot, so that means it's going to pattern and fit on your Glock 43X, your P365s, and a lot of your other smaller micro carry guns out there. It's a little bit more on the expensive side. It comes in roughly about $270, but the reason why it's on this list is because, number 1, it's an enclosed micro dot for micro pistols. Very few of those out there. And number 2, we were able to drop it on the concrete like 10 times most recently in our review, and it did not even crack one bit. On top of that, despite all the hammering against the Tree of Damnation, despite the 10 drops onto concrete, despite not cracking, it still held 0. Like, regardless, it did not shift at all. Regardless of all that, it did not lose 0. It held up just fine, and that's something that is very rare to find, like especially for these budget-friendly options. Now, is $270 really budget-friendly? Not really. In fact, some people argue that those are Hall Sun prices. It seems to be duty grade, and because of that, that's why it's number 2. Now, lastly, number 1 on my list. This has to be probably the best red dot we've ever tested on the channel to date, and that is the Cyelee Wolf EDG. This is an enclosed RMR red dot. Comes in roughly the price of $279. Use code TN Tactical to save 10% off of that price on their website. 3MOA dot, fully enclosed red dot. Both front and the rear is enclosed in glass. Shockproof, waterproof, all that good stuff. 50,000 hours of battery life. Uses a CR1620 battery. Very drop proof. When Cyelee sent this dot out to me, they told me to beat the piss out of it, and I definitely did. Not only did I smash it against the Tree of Damnation, I actually took it like a hammer, hitting a nail, and started slamming it down onto my brick of damnation, and it actually cracked the brick in half. Like, that's how hard I was actually hitting it, and it did not lose 0. That's insane. Like, I have never seen anything that durable on the channel to review to date. And that is why it is number 1 on my list. Again, TN Tactical for 10% off their website. So yeah, we've reviewed a lot of different optics on the channel, and these are the ones I think are worth your time and your money. Guys, we will get back to other cool reviews for you in the future. If you enjoy this kind of content, if you enjoy the top 5 format, please let me know down below. I'd love to hear from you. We will see you next time.